God decided to torture us all with. Okay. So, yeah, he just decided to torture us all with. So I said I was going to do this like a story, like, because that's the only way I can do it, like a real story. Okay. My first memory of seeing a demon was obviously Agnes. Okay. I was lying on my couch. I was going through my metaphysical wars. She wasn't even one of my suspects at the time. So I was lying on my couch and I look to the northwest and I see Agnes. And she was a very big woman, right? She's in front and she's muttering in her language or Portuguese with a little baby voice. And behind her were like heads, like people, heads. And they were also muttering. And she came through in the northwest, to the northwest, and then they washed over me and burnt my face. I have shown you pictures of my face, those who've been with me for a long time. They burnt my face. And that was the first time I discovered demons. It was a hard, painful facial lesson. Okay. It was very, and after that, there was no way I could not see these beings. And they were always, at the time, they were always walking with Agnes. She would come into my house. That's how I met the ghetto gang. The ghetto gang being Obatala and Oya. I met them through Agnes. She came into my house and they were with her. And after I realized that Agnes was the enemy, and now they were actually teaching me how to fight Agnes, because guess what? Agnes was an energy of Satan, right? And they wanted out from walking about with a living, walking, breathing Satan. They wanted to rampage heaven all by themselves. But Agnes, as an individual, she was seeking power. So she was going to her witch doctors in Toronto, and they were giving her all these other energies. So I met Oya and Obatala through Agnes. And the other guy, the rapist, I just called him the rapist because I don't know his actual name. I just know that he is the rapist. I will go straight to the rapist. But first, I got to tell you that when I first talked to Obatala, I thought he was hilarious. No, I did. I thought he was such a joke. He told me that God, this energy we call God, was a dictator that like grabbed power from them, grabbed power from all of them, and he was supposed to rule for a certain amount, a certain time, and his creatures, his creations, were supposed to be, the power for a certain amount of time. But this dude called God, okay, decided when his time came for him to step down that no, he wasn't going to do that. Because, if he steps down, all his creations will be slaughtered, right? Yeah, will be slaughtered, and a new cycle of life will begin. So God decided he wasn't having it. He just wasn't having that. He became a dictator, thereby creating thousands of years in which the other gods had nothing to do, had no power, had to forcefully sleep, like really put themselves to sleep. You know, he had done so much harm, and so many of these gods had died because the motherfucker would not relinquish power. So Obatala said, well, now we are organized. We are going to get the motherfucker. We are going to open the gates of heaven and we are going to rampage him. We're going to rampage heaven. We're going to rampage him. We're going to remove him by force. And then the cycle of life will begin again. Basically, they were saying that the God I prayed to was the motherfucker who was going against the natural order. That's human beings, elephants, animals, all these things that were created were not meant to exist for so long. We were not meant to be breathing and talking because each God has a version of their world, right? And they create their world from the first from go, right? But this guy was so drunk from power, he would not walk away. So of course I laughed because that was funny, guys. For someone who didn't believe in demons in the first place, I mean, the fuck? So anyway, Obatala said to me, the thing is, we don't have the key to heaven. So we've been looking for the key to heaven. And then guess what? We came across this filthy girl who called us. She did rituals to bring us to her. She's filthy and disgusting. We have no use for her. She's greedy. She just wants more than her fair share. But you know what? She brought us to you. You have the key to the gates of heaven. So we gotta fuck you over in order for us to grab your key. And then we're gonna use that key to open the gates of heaven. Then we're gonna go in, we're gonna rampage this God, remove him from the throne, and the world will begin again. So what was the rampaging? The rampaging was the rapist demon literally anally raping me.